And I want to start today with a challenge for everyone watching. Most people believe that the laws of physics are written in stone, but right now, an object from another star system is actively erasing them. Here is the test. Can you handle the possibility that we aren't just watching a rock, but a witness? I want you to go to the comments right now and type the name of your city. Along with your location, I want you to tell me if you were given undeniable proof today that 3I Atlas is not unnatural, would you feel relieved that we aren't alone? Or terrified of what comes next? Be honest, we are mapping your reactions globally because what NASA just observed, this growing, quivering anti-tail, is the smoking gun that has officially divided the scientific world. It is a moment in human history that feels like a slow-motion collision between reality and science fiction. We are currently tracking the third ever confirmed visitor from interstellar space, an object known as 3I Atlas. And as of today, the data coming back, observatory is nothing short of revolutionary. For months, the world has debated whether this was just another dirty snowball or something far more exotic like the enigmatic Oumuamua. But the newest observations have revealed a feature so rare and so physically perplexing that it has forced NASA to issue a series of urgent updates. The 3I Atlas anti-tail is not only growing, it is quivering with a mathematical precision that defies everything we know about natural outgassing. Imagine standing on a beach, the sand out toward the ocean. That is how a normal comet works. The sun is the wind and the dust is the sand. But with 3I Atlas, it is as if the sand is flying directly into the wind, moving toward the very source of the pressure. Typically, when a comet approaches our sun, it develops a tail that sweeps back into the void, pushed away by the relentless force of solar radiation and the solar wind. It is the universal law of the solar system, but 3I Atlas is currently sporting a massive, tightly collimated anti-tail that points directly toward the sun, stretching an incredible 1 million kilometers, or roughly 620,000 miles, into the space between us and our star. While anti-tails can sometimes be explained as optical illusions caused by the Earth crossing a comet's orbital plane, researchers have confirmed that for 3I Atlas, this is a real physical jet of material being launched sunward with extreme force. What makes this truly unsettling is what scientists like Dr. Avi Loeb have pointed out. The anti-tail isn't just a static cloud. New high-resolution images processed through advanced filters show that the structures inside this tail are quivering or wobbling with a regular 74-hour rhythm. This precessional motion implies that the core of 3I Atlas, a nucleus estimated to be between 440 meters and 5.6 kilometers wide, is rotating once every 15.5 hours. This spin is far faster than earlier models suggested, indicating that the object is being pushed by In the world of orbital mechanics, gravity is king. You can predict exactly where a rock will be a year from now just by knowing the mass of the sun and the planets. But when an object starts moving in a way that gravity cannot explain, we call it non-gravitational acceleration. For a normal comet, this happens when ice turns into gas and creates a little bit of thrust. But the thrust from 3I Atlas isn't sputtering or chaotic. It is constant. It is directional. And as of this morning, it is increasing. Chemical fingerprints of this visitor, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, and the Gemini North Observatory have detected a signature that is completely alien to our solar system, an unusually high ratio of carbon dioxide to water ice, and a gas cloud that is rich in nickel vapor relative to iron. This is the pristine chemistry that suggests 3I Atlas was formed in a star system potentially billions of years older than our own. In fact, some calculations suggest this object is 7 billion years old, older than the Earth itself. If it accelerated in a way gravity alone could not explain, then we are being visited. At the time, many thought he was being theatrical, but the current trajectory data from NASA's JPL Horizons system shows that The non-gravitational acceleration of 3I Atlas is constant and deliberate. Loeb's clinical analysis suggests that this unsettled behavior, the wobbling jets, the constant sunward thrust, and the geometric precision of the coma is consistent with an engineered structure or a purposeful probe. As 3I Atlas now heads outbound toward the orbit of Jupiter, passing its closest point to Earth on December 19th, at a distance of about 270 million kilometers, the window for observing this mystery is closing. We are essentially watching a cosmic audit take place. The object didn't just pass by. It interacted with our solar environment, released chemical signatures that we are still trying to decode, and displayed a level of structural stability that has baffled the mission teams. Some are calling this the third iteration, sent to evaluate where humanity stands before a looming 2030 deadline. By 2030, in the decoded fragments of the gravitational waves emitted by the object, a signal that lasted exactly 17 minutes, and there was a mathematical sequence that aligned with our solar calendar. It pointed toward the year 2030 as a convergence point. If we are indeed the third iteration of intelligent life on this planet, as the theories suggest, then 3I Atlas isn't just a guest, it is a proctor. It is here to see if we have to join what many call the galactic community. The first iteration failed through stagnation. The second failed through self-destruction. We are the third attempt, and the deadline is fast approaching. While NASA maintains that the object is a natural comet, they have also acknowledged that it is rewriting the textbooks on interstellar visitors. They are using this pass as a planetary defense drill, practicing how we would track an object that behaves this unpredictably. But the question remains, if a natural comet has an anti-tail that grows to 1 million kilometers and quivers like a heartbeat, why haven't we seen this in any of the thousands of solar system comets we've studied for centuries? We are living in an era where the boundary between natural anomaly and extraterrestrial technology has become razor thin. The 3I Atlas anti-tail is a physical bridge between our world and the star system that birthed this traveler millions of years ago. Whether it is a fragment of a lost world or a highly advanced monitoring device, it has succeeded in one thing. It has forced us to look up and realize that the universe is far more active and perhaps far more crowded than we ever dared to imagine. As the signal continues to pulse and the anti-tail continues to stretch toward our sun, the clock toward 2030 keeps ticking. We are the witnesses to this encounter, and the data being gathered right now will be debated for generations to come. Think about the sheer scale of what we are witnessing. At its closest approach to the sun, 3I Atlas was moving at 153,000 miles per hour. That is roughly 68 kilometers per second. To put that in perspective, at that speed, you could travel from New York to Los Angeles in about 60 seconds. And yet, even at that velocity, the object was stable enough to emit these precise, wobbling jets. If it were just a loose pile of ice and dust, the sheer centrifugal force of that 15 5-hour rotation would have likely caused it to fly apart. But it didn't. It held together, growing its sunward tail as if it were drinking in the solar energy. NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars even managed to snap a photo of it as a faint smudge against the Martian stars. 3 different spacecraft at Mars were watching it simultaneously. They saw the hydrogen clouds surrounding it, separated from the Martian atmosphere by its incredible speed. It was a multi-planetary observation of a single event. And yet, even with all these eyes on it, the most basic questions remain unanswered. Why is the anti-tail growing now when the object is supposed to be cooling down? Why does the light curve show periodic pulses that look more like a lighthouse than a reflecting rock? The quarantine theory suggests that 3I Atlas is part of a larger network of observers that have been stationed in the Oort cloud for millennia. According to this narrative, they only enter the inner solar system when a civilization reaches the technological singularity, the point where they develop AI and quantum computing. We hit that mark recently, and like clockwork, 3i Atlas arrived. If this is true, then the 2030 deadline, it is the end of our probationary period. The anti-tail, stretching toward the sun, could be a communication beam, a way of relaying the final data of our third iteration back to the source. As the object reaches the orbit of Jupiter in March 2026, we will lose our best chance to see it clearly. It will fade back into the magnitude 13 darkness, a faint speck in the constellation Leo. Before it eventually leaves our solar system forever, it will reach the inner Oort cloud around the year 2189, long after most of us are gone, but the questions it has raised about our origin and our future will remain. Stay focused on the horizon, because 3i Atlas isn't just leaving, it's leaving us with a question that we aren't yet ready to answer. The observers are here, the anti-tail is growing, and the unsettled state of this visitor is the only thing we can be certain of. Are we the masters of our destiny? Or are we just the latest experiment in a very long cosmic history? The data says we have 5 years to find out. Keep watching the skies, keep reporting, and never stop questioning what is truly happening above our heads. This is Quasix Cosmos, and the audit of the third iteration has officially begun. Subscribe to the channel for upcoming latest space updates. Thanks for watching.